Good. All right. Well, this is a little bit unusual because I don't usually start the meetings, but I'm going to introduce a special guest tonight that we see once every 2 years. And I will turn this over to him just in a second. Joining us tonight is Judge Fred Winehouse, who was appointed by council as municipal court judge in January 2017. He also served as a stint as judge pro tem under previous municipal court judge Michael Gleason. Prior to his tenure in Wilsonville, Judge Winehouse served as an assistant United States attorney for over 30 years. He also served as a district attorney for Multnomah County and as a Portland police officer. So we're pleased to welcome Judge Winehouse tonight, and I will turn it over to you, Judge.
Thank you. Mayor, would you please raise your right hand and repeat after me? I, Julie FITZGERALD.
I, Julie FITZGERALD.
Having been elected to the office of Wilsonville Mayor.
Having been elected to the office of Wilsonville Mayor.
On oath, depose and say.
On oath, depose and say.
That I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States.
That I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States.
And the state of Oregon.
And the state of Oregon.
And that I will faithfully perform the duties of Wilsonville Mayor.
And that I will faithfully perform the duties of Wilsonville Mayor.
To which I have been elected.
To which I have been elected.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Next will be KRISTIN AKERVALL. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, KRISTIN AKERVALL.
I, KRISTIN AKERVALL.
Having been elected to the office of Wilsonville City Councilor.
Having been elected to the office of Wilsonville City Councilor.
On oath, depose and say.
On oath, depose and say.
That I will support the Constitution.
That I will support the Constitution.
And laws of the United States.
And laws of the United States.
And the state of Oregon.
And the state of Oregon.
And that I will faithfully perform the duties of Wilsonville City Councilor.
And that I will faithfully perform the duties of Wilsonville City Councilor.
To which I have been elected.
To which I have been elected.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
JOANN, please raise your right hand. Repeat after me.
Your Honor, before we start, I was informed that the oath of office is incorrect and should say elected.
I have it as elected.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I made the change. It said appointed. I, JOANN LINVILLE.
I, JOANN LINVILLE.
Having been elected to the office of Wilsonville City Councilor.
Having been elected to the office of Wilsonville City Councilor.
On oath, depose and say.
On oath, depose and say.
That I will support the Constitution.
That I will support the Constitution.
And laws of the United States.
And laws of the United States.
And the state of Oregon.
And the state of Oregon.
And that I will faithfully perform the duties of Wilsonville City Councilor.
And that I will faithfully perform the duties of Wilsonville City Councilor.
To which I have been elected.
To which I have been elected.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Mayor FITZGERALD, the gavel is yours. You're muted. There we go.
I would like to call the meeting of the Wilsonville City Council for January 4th, 2021 at 7:07 p.m. to order. May I ask for a roll call from the city recorder, please?
Mayor-elect FITZGERALD, this might be the appropriate time for you to say anything that you want, and then I think turn that over to Council President AKERVALL and Councilor LINVILLE, if you so choose.
Okay, we'll do the roll call after that. Right,
Okay.
thank you. Well, thank you. I'd like to say Happy New Year to everyone, and thank you for devoting your evening to joining us for one of our city council meetings tonight, and I'm very pleased to be here. I want to say best wishes for everyone for a healthy new year and a prosperous future. And as I look forward to 21, I'm eager to begin my work as mayor and really grateful for the opportunity you have entrusted me with as mayor. I look forward to leading with good governance, innovation, inclusiveness, resilience, and the desire to strengthen our local economy for our residents and our business operators. Our community already has so many wonderful amenities in place, which is a tribute to decades of work by many visionaries among our residents, businesses, schools, and city staff. And I appreciate all who have lifted our city to where it is today. Effective leadership really requires thoughtful collaboration. For Wilsonville's good fortune to continue, we must maintain and pursue an active role in our regional and state governments. We must also rely on a diverse cross-section of our community stakeholders to ensure that Wilsonville does have a rich and resilient future. There are many ways people can be involved. You can vote, join the public process, attend meetings, town halls, submit comments when asked, contact the city, and apply to join boards and commissions and task forces. Just don't take for granted those things you love about Wilsonville. In recent years, our community-led process has made possible this future transformation of town center, a strategic plan to develop more strategic housing opportunities, and a strong business culture, as well as our arts, cultural, and heritage strategy that's just beginning, and a growing network of parks and more. So to ensure that we have a diverse future ahead of us, we're beginning on a new diversity, equity, and inclusion strategy. I'm really enthused about our progress, and I look forward to working with all of our city councilors, our staff, and all of you to ensure that Wilsonville remains the strong, safe, clean, and welcoming city that we all want to call home. So thank you again to everyone who participated in the election in every way they did and for taking part in Wilsonville's future. I look forward to a great year together. Thank you.
Great term.
And now I would like to introduce Councilor KRISTIN AKERVALL.
Thank you. You know, I believe that we live in an exceptional city, and I have so much respect for our community members and Wilsonville as a whole. This beautiful and caring community that we have created together. And I feel so fortunate that Wilsonville is my home. I also recognize that the world is not stagnant. And this year in particular, I think we've all felt the delicate balance and precarious nature that the future can hold. And in the change that time brings and the change that time offers, I believe we must continue to push forward to a future that is healthy, compassionate, and just. And I look forward to our city working together to continue to develop our strengths and foster a place where all people can find opportunity, can thrive, and feel a sense of belonging. While the position of city councilor is a distinct leadership role, I'm very grateful for the many individuals that contribute to our city. Our volunteers, our board members and commissioners, our city staff, our businesses, and our caring community members that all work to make Wilsonville what it is. You know, it takes many people to create a place that is as special as Wilsonville. And it's been an honor to serve our community on City Council for the last 4 years, and an even deeper honor to be able to continue in that role with this new term. But honor should also be shared with the many people in our community that are responsible for the accomplishments that we have achieved and the success that we will continually strive after. While we have completed a very challenging year, our stamina, our strategic vision, and our collective action, helping each other, listening to each other, showing respect, grace, and working together will yield the guidance and leadership that is needed moving into 2021. And this behavior reflects the care that I want to bring to this community that I appreciate so greatly. And I will humbly offer my best efforts to give that leadership to our city. And finally, thank you to my family who gives a lot to me and supports me in serving in this role. And their service is much less visible, but their support is so impactful. And thank you for your flexibility, for your patience, for your willingness to share time. And I know that you also care about this community very much. So thank you. And with that, I look forward to this new year. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Councilor AKERVALL. And now I would like to ask Councilor Linville to speak.
Thank you, Your Honor. It is my honor to be sitting in this council seat today as I begin my 4-year tenure as an elected councilor for the city of Wilsonville. I want to thank the citizens of Wilsonville for their support and confidence in me, and thank the many persons who work diligently to make it possible for me to continue to serve our community. That includes my family, and I thank them for their support. As your newest city councilor, you have my commitment to sustaining and affirming all that is good about the city of Wilsonville and working to find solutions to sometimes vexing issues that confront us as a community. This election was perhaps like no other we have seen. In the midst of a pandemic, we communicated with citizens, sought to get our messages out, all the while continuing to do the work of the city. It is a time we are looking forward to putting behind us and moving toward a new normal, and particularly recovery in our community. The League of Oregon Cities suggests that as an elected official, you are asking me to be a model of civility and cooperation, an educator and interpreter of public opinion, and a leader in bringing people together and building trust. You have my promise and commitment in these efforts as I work with you and my colleagues on the council and the city staff to shape policy governing the future of our city. In order for me to do my job well, I need a thorough knowledge of our community, our citizens, and the issues currently facing the city, as well as responding to those that arise in the future. My 18 months as an appointed councilor has helped me greatly in these areas. But as I embark on my term as your elected councilor, I ask for your assistance and communication in more in-depth and meaningful ways. I ask for your commitment to open lines of communication both personally and through structured city opportunities. I will do my best with input and assistance from all of our citizens. This focus on communication is critical as we move forward with expanding housing opportunities, building and developing industrial and commercial lands, ensuring diversity, equity, and inclusion across all areas of our city, developing our town center, and addressing transportation and economic recovery. I look forward to opportunities to dialogue with our citizens on these important city issues. And I will make a promise to you that I will create those opportunities to have those dialogues. Thank you again for this opportunity to serve our community. I look forward to great things happening in our wonderful community of Wilsonville. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Linville. And I really appreciated all of your comments and want to reiterate my appreciation for the opportunity to serve our city. I want to thank my husband and family and volunteers for all their work on the campaign as well. And in hearing the comments from Councilor AKERVALL and Councilor Linville, I also wanted to say that I am struck with the very exciting news, really promising news, that I feel like all of our councilors will work together in these endeavors that you mentioned. So we've talked about that a number of times, and I think we have a great council, and everyone is dedicated to serving their city. So thank you very much. So if I may, I will now, this is my first meeting as mayor, and I jumped ahead a little bit with the roll call, but now I'm going to try it again. So will the city recorder please call the roll call?
Councilor Linville?
Present.
Councilor West?
Present.
Councilor AKERVALL?
Here.
Councilor LEHAN?
Here.
Mayor FITZGERALD?
Here. Thank you. And we're going to now ask the city manager to lead the Pledge of Allegiance, and the councilors will mute their mics.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Cosgrove. Are there any questions on the order of agenda or the consent calendar? Seeing none, I will accept a motion on the order of agenda.
Your Honor, I move to approve the order of agenda.
Thank you, Councilor West. Do I have a second?
Second.
LEHAN, all in favor?
Aye.
And motion passes 5-0. We now move to the mayor's business section, and by city charter, we are required to elect a member of the council to serve as council president at the first meeting of each odd-numbered year. The council president presides over council meetings in the mayor's absence. Additionally, the council president performs the duties of mayor if the council determines that the mayor is unable to perform their duties. I will now entertain nominations for council president. Councilor LEHAN?
Your Honor, I move to nominate, I would like to nominate Councilor AKERVALL.
Thank
Wait
you.
a second.
Oh, thank you, Councilor West. Are there any other nominations? Councilor Linville?
Your Honor, I move to close the nominations.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion passes 5-0. All in favor of Councilor KRISTIN AKERVALL serving as council president for the term of January 2021 through December 2022, please signify by saying aye and raising your hand.
Aye.
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 All in, Councilor AKERVALL, Council President AKERVALL.
I apologize. I intended to abstain my vote. I'm very happy to continue in this role, but my intention was to abstain as the person nominated for the role. But
thank you. I understand.
Okay,
I would like to now ask, I should have done this before the vote, but if Councilor LEHAN, West, and Councilor West, with your nomination and second, if you would like to make any comments about Councilor AKERVALL's service. Councilor West.
I think she'll be fantastic continuing in this role. I think that there's a reason why all of us were quick to raise our hands, because she did such a good job the last 2 years. My first 2 years as a city councilor, she operated with grace and with a lot of dignity and was a great listener to those in the community. And I feel like if the unfortunate situation arises where she has to fill in for a long period of time, or even just on a temporary short basis, she'll do a fantastic job. So I think we should all be happy and welcome her in continuing this role. And congratulations, Council President AKERVALL.
Thank you, Councilor West. Councilor LEHAN.
Yes, I would second all of those things and say I think that Councilor AKERVALL has done an excellent job in the last, how many, 2 years or 3 years? I don't know, 2 years. She's done an excellent job, and even though she hardly ever had a chance to actually run the meeting because Mayor Knapp was nearly always there, but she served very well as council president nonetheless. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Councilor LINVILLE, did you want to add anything?
Well, I certainly, I mean, you know that I am in favor. I voted yes, and as our continuing counselor in this position, I have no reservations at all that Councilor AKERVALL will not do just a fantastic job, and I appreciate her leadership and her calm and cool prevail over all of our discussions. And so I thank you for your willingness to serve.
Thank you.
There we go.
I would certainly agree with all of you and welcome you, Council President AKERVALL. Now we can call you by that. And do you have any comments?
Well, I'll just say thank you very much for your trust and your encouragement, confidence in continuing in this position. Thank you all very much. I'm honored.
Thank you. So I'm a little bit out of order in the way I'm saying this, but I'm now going to add that the motion passed 4-0 with Councilor AKERVALL abstaining because she was nominated. So thank you. Now we come to the communications section of our agenda, and we don't have anything for that item. And so I will move, just a minute here.
Just as you're navigating the agenda there, just a reminder that the only upcoming meeting we have to announce is the second meeting in January, which normally would fall on the third Monday, but because that's Martin Luther King Jr. holiday, Council will be convening on Thursday, January 21st at 5 p.m. for work session, 7 p.m. for regular meeting.
Thank you. So that concludes our mayor's business. There are lots more meeting dates that you can read about on the website and also in the Boonesbury Messenger, but I'm not going to go over those in this meeting. And as I stated, we don't have any items for communications at this point. We're going to move to the citizen input and community announcements phase of our meeting. And this is an opportunity for visitors to address the City Council on items not on the agenda. It is also a time to address items that are on the agenda but not scheduled for a public hearing. Staff and the City Council will make every effort to respond to questions raised during citizens' input before tonight's meeting ends, or as quickly as possible. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. And you use the raise hand feature of Zoom to let us know if you would like to comment. I also wanted to add that we do really adhere to the 3-minute time period for each speaker, and that staff is going to assist with that by giving a 60-second heads up to each speaker before they reach that 3-minute point. And I think that because we're on Zoom, I'm expecting staff to help with the list of speakers as they are coming up. So, and before we start, I wanted to add, this is my first meeting, and I want to transition over from the last meeting and note that at the last meeting, Council heard and read public comment on the proposed appointment of Ms. Jamie Arbon to the Development Review Board. This item is on the agenda under continuing business. So I would like to ask the councilors, city councilors, to hold their comments after the citizen report, citizen input, for that time on the agenda that we're calling citizen input. And I think with that, we will move to the citizen input. Mr. Cosgrove?
Yep, we'll take it from here. I have Beth Wolf monitoring the virtual lobby. And just a note, we won't be sending folks a 60-second heads up. We're going to do better than that. We're going to have a big clock that will be counting down so they will know how much time they have. So that clock will be running as they're speaking. We won't begin the clock until they provide their name and address for the record. Once they start into their comments, they will have their 3 minutes. So there you go. And Beth Wolf will announce the first speaker.
Yes, Mayor Fitzgerald, Wayne Richards.
Thank you, Wayne.
I'm going to unmute now.
We can hear you, Wayne.
Okay, I am Wayne Richards, 7417 Lakeside Drive in Wilsonville, Oregon 97070. May I start?
Yes.
Okay, it's going to be less than a minute. Thank you, Mayor Fitzgerald and Council President KRISTIN AKERVALL, Councilor Charlotte LEHAN, Councilor Ben West, and Councilor JOANN LINVILLE. This applies to all of you. We have a smart, informed, and wise group of voters, and in every precinct they have spoken. It is my opinion that what they said was that they would like to keep our AAA bond rating and continue through the NCS survey, National Research Center in Boulder, Colorado, statistically accurate report, that we're in the top 10 in a survey of 500 similar sized cities all across America for citizen satisfaction. That's absolutely amazing. That's not the top 10%. That's the top 10 out of 500 communities across America. And all of you are very interested in protecting our property values, quality of life, health, and safety. That's why they chose the leaders that they did. And I want to thank each and every one of you. I'm delighted that our city is in all of your capable hands. Thank you. That's all I got to say.
Thank you, Mr. Richards.
Bob Harlan, would you like to speak?
Yes, I would. Good evening. My name is Bob Harlan. I live at 8100 Southwest Winchester Way in Wilsonville. I'm before you this evening to reinforce the decision overwhelmingly made by voters in November that the city has been moving in the right direction and should continue to move in that direction. Let me add that while there is nothing wrong with dissent from the minority, I submit that it should be only expressed in a collegial, professional, and dignified way, a way that is not disruptive to the council's work. To act otherwise is counterproductive and not in the public interest. I congratulate you, Madam Mayor, and you too, Councilor AKERVALL and Councilor LINVILLE, on your election victories. I and many others believe that our city has a bright future, a future that will benefit from your experience, wisdom, and leadership. In conclusion, let me reiterate, the people of Wilsonville have spoken. They have elected leaders that they believe are best prepared to move the city forward during the next few years. My hope is that everyone can look ahead in a positive way and rely on the sound judgment of our mayor and council majority. Thank you.
Jamie Arbon, would you like to speak?
Yes, please. My name is Jamie Arbon. I'm a citizen of Wilsonville, and I'm declining to provide my personal address tonight because I do have a concern regarding my personal safety. First, I would like to start by welcoming our new mayor, Julie FITZGERALD, Councilor LINVILLE, who is already with us, and joining us again by election, and congratulations to Council President AKERVALL. I'm sad to come before you tonight because on December 21st at the last city council meeting, Ben West lobbed completely untrue, irresponsible, reprehensible allegations at me, calling me a racist and a homophobe. Ben West is not able to provide any solid proof of these allegations. I believe that Ben West is upset because I opposed him on a Facebook post. Ben West and I have never had a single conversation. I have emailed him in my advocacy for cannabis, and he has emailed me back, much like the rest of the council did, acknowledging my position and stating that I should bring it before the voters. In an effort to move the needle forward on my community service, I joined the Wilsonville Citizens Academy and graduated from that in 2020. I also signed up for the to volunteer for the Development Review Board and was interviewed by Mayor Knapp in June or July for the opening at that time. Nothing happened as far as I knew other than Ben West losing the mayoral election, and I believe that he is blaming me for it. My time is limited, so I'm going to close with a few points. One, I am not a racist or a homophobe, and I have an overwhelming amount of community support. I have written a full statement and letter that I will be posting online later for my community to read at the People of Wilsonville Facebook page. I also present to the council overwhelming community support and also proof of other community member statements that whenever Ben West disagrees with them on any position, he freely throws out the racist and homophobe titles. It is fine in Facebook, but he crossed the line by doing it in an official capacity in his position as a city council member. I am asking the council tonight to ratify my appointment to the Development Review Board. I am asking the council for a written apology signed by Ben West for these abhorrent, irresponsible, and flatly untrue statements. I condone any racism, and I do not condone any racism, and I do not condone any homophobic behaviors. I also ask for censure for Ben West for all of these comments that he is unable to prove. Thank you.
Douglas Lanphier.
I got to get myself unmuted.
We can hear you.
We hear you.
Thank you very kindly.
Yep.
Good evening, Mayor and Wilsonville City Councilors. My name is Douglas Lanphier. My address is 26444 Northeast Butteville Road, Aurora, Oregon 97002. First, I would like to congratulate the newly elected Mayor FITZGERALD and City Councilor President AKERVALL. I am addressing the City Council about the defamation, slander, and libel of Jamie Arbin. I have known Miss Arbin for many years, and I can confidently say that I have never heard her disparage, malign, or speak negatively about the gay community or against any race. She has been supportive of the Latino and African American members of the community by employing them at the cannabis dispensary she managed for me from the inception of the dispensary until her unfortunate cancer diagnosis. I have watched the previous City Council session and specifically the comments of Ben West in opposition of Ms. Arbin's appointment to the Development Review Board. I do not know Councilman West's motive to defame, slander, and libel Ms. Arbin with allegations of racial and homophobic tropes, but I can assure the distinguished members of the council that Ms. Arbin is about the most compassionate, caring, and concerned member of this community. I believe that City Councilor West has used his allegations of being the victim of racial and homophobic tropes to get sympathy as a victim. West uses this allegation as a diversion from the pertinent topic and hopes for outrage over being victimized. My observation and opinion is that Ben West has underestimated Ms. Arbin. Ms. Arbin has over a decade in the corporate world and has accomplished many goals that many others may envy. Mr. West believes that Ms. Arbin is only concerned about cannabis advocacy, as that is the only subject Mr. West is familiar, Ms. Arbin has brought before the council. Mr. West feels that he's been lectured to by a citizen of the constituency that elected him to office. Mr. West apparently has forgotten upon election that he serves the citizens of the city of Wilsonville. Listening to your constituents, Mr. West, is part of your commitment to your elected office. I have written a detailed letter that I expect to be entered into the official record of the council. I appreciate the opportunity to address the city council on this important matter and wish that the city council take appropriate action against Mr. West so these actions are not repeated as they have been so many times by Mr. West in the past of alleging homophobic or racial tropes against who he disagrees with. Thank you again. Enjoy your evening.
I can confirm that your letter is part of the record.
Thank you.
Casey Dickerson, would you like to speak? And anyone else who would like to speak, please use the Zoom raise hand feature.
I'm sorry, did you hear me? Could you hear me?
We do now.
Okay, my apologies for that. Hello, my name is Casey Dickerson. For the record, it's Karen Dickerson, K-A-R-I-N Dickerson. I go by my initials, and my address is 46 Pearson Road, P-I-E-R-S-O-N, in Maplewood, New Jersey, 07040. Hello to the council members of the city of Wilsonville, Oregon, to the new council president and to the mayor. Thank you for allowing me to be here tonight. I just wanted to provide a short statement about the character of Jamie Arbin. Like I said, my name is Casey Dickerson, and Jamie worked for me between 2003 and 2005 at a marketing agency on the East Coast as a core member of my team. In the 18 years that I have known her, I have served as both an ad hoc mentor and a full-time friend to her, and I really feel as though I've come to know her values, her character, and I really want to just share those with you today as you consider her candidacy for the Development Review Board. Specifically, I wanted to address the baseless objections around racial and homosexual tropes and bullying behavior that I saw in the video of Ben West. And I just want to assure you that this type of character or thinking is not who she is. To my knowledge, she's never used language like this. I'm certain because that she's never used this language in front of me. I'm an African American, and I know that I would have noticed that type of language, and I probably would have addressed it head on. Jamie has stayed in my home. She's met my family. I've met hers. I've seen the ups and the downs of her life, and she's entirely good, trustworthy, and decent. She's an absolute champion of the underdog and the type of person that wholeheartedly seeks justice and inclusion for others. She doesn't behave in the said negative way. So while considering her candidacy, I just wanted to provide a few reasons that I think she would be an excellent selection. Number one, she's absolutely determined. She gets the job done. She's self-driven and committed to her work. She's enthusiastic. She takes all roles seriously, jumps in, and she's a fantastic partner on a team. She's incredibly passionate, I know, about the topic of cannabis and helping others with her knowledge. And I just want to point out that this work really is life or death to her due to her diagnosis. And finally, she's a principled person. She's a good person. She has always done the right thing since I have known her. So I just wanted to share that with you, and I appreciate your allowing me the time to participate in your meeting tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
If there is anyone else that would like to speak, please click the raise hand button at the bottom of your screen.
Get anything? Nothing?
Yeah.
Okay, Mayor Fitzgerald, there's nobody in the council chambers, and it appears that nobody else in the virtual lobby has raised their hand. So I think that is all for citizen input and community announcements.
Thank you.
Did you want to make?
Thank you, citizens, for your input.
Did you want to acknowledge we also got?
Oh yeah, and I'm just talking to the city attorney. I'm sorry, Mayor. I just want to acknowledge that any correspondence, written letters, emails that were received by staff are part of the record. We're shared with council. Anything that comes in later tonight or whatever, we will make sure that that is submitted for the record as well. Complete record of the proceedings will be available within the next couple of weeks. I think we try to turn around the meeting minutes within 30 days. So.
Thank you. We are now closing the citizen input segment of the meeting, and we're going to move to our standard councilor comments, liaison reports, and meeting announcements. And as I noted before, we will hold any comments related to the DRB appointment that was discussed to the continuing business section. So regarding our councilor comments and announcements, President AKERVALL, please.
Thank you. Happy New Year, everyone. As we start out our 2021 year, there is one item that I can report on from the end of this last year, the December 2020, that I thought might be interesting both to my fellow councilors and perhaps to community members as well. And that is that there is a virtual tour available of the WIF, the Willamette Intake Facility Commission's work and modifications at the raw water intake facility that's here in Wilsonville. And I am a member and the council's representative, I guess, to that group. So I viewed the virtual tour of it and found it quite interesting and well done. And actually, it shows some of the stabilization work that's being done there at the raw water treatment plant. Some of our community members may have noticed that because it's quite a big change down there at the raw water treatment plant area. And these stabilization modifications or changes that they're working on are so that the intake facility piece would be helped in withstanding a cascade subduction zone earthquake. So that is very important work. And if anybody is interested, I can direct you to the link for the virtual tour. It is available publicly on YouTube. And that's it for me for right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Council President AKERVALL. And I wonder if the city manager could, what's a good way to provide that link to people, Mr. Cosgrove?
Oh, we can provide it on our website. We can also put it on our Facebook page. So there's multiple ways that we can provide that, and I will have Bill Evans do that. He's monitoring the meeting and taking notes, so I will ask him to do it, push it out on all of our available mediums.
Great. Okay, wonderful. Councilor LEHAN, please.
I just wanted to likewise wish everyone a happy new year. How could it not be better than the last one? But I would also like to welcome the 3 people who've just been elected to the City Council and say that in the 25 or 30 years that I have served on council and as mayor off and on, I have never served with councilors who came better prepared and more engaged than these three women. So they really do set a high bar in terms of preparation for council. They've made me work a little bit harder to make sure I've read the material thoroughly. So they are terribly engaged in the community, and this community is very fortunate to have their service, and I welcome them to the council.
Thank you. Councilor West.
I hope everybody had a great Christmas and New Year. I know my family enjoyed the rest. I think our kids go back to school tomorrow, many of them. So we're already starting today in our household to get back into the routine, and I know a lot of families are doing that right now. And I've said this before, but I think the next 2 years moving forward, I know we're going to set council goals probably here in the near future, hopefully in the spring. I look forward to us working together as a group. I think it's going to be fantastic. I think we're going to get a lot of great things done for the city of Wilsonville, and it's an honor to be a part of it. And yeah, here's to a better 2021, we all hope. And I know that we got some things coming down the line here, like how can we continue to help our small businesses? How can we be more responsive to citizens here in Wilsonville? How can we try to do the best we can to meet the very basic and practical real needs that some people have? Many people in the service industry aren't getting paychecks, right? They don't get the opportunity to do a job that allows them to Zoom from home. They don't have that. And so we're aware of that and trying to find creative ways to do the best that we can as a group. And I know that Mayor Fitzgerald shares that same desire moving forward too. So I hope that it's better in 2021 and everybody be encouraged. We can do this together. So yeah, that's all I have to say. I don't have anything to announce after the holidays, except I probably ate too much, and but it was relaxing.
Thank you, Councilor West. Councilor Linville.
Well, I'll add my New Year's best wishes to both the council and the staff and our citizens, and hope that people had an opportunity at least to be with family and friends, if not perhaps by different ways than we've done in the past. I think everyone had a little bit different holiday. I don't have anything to report in terms of meetings from since our previous meeting. I do want to say, though, that I have some concern that our state legislature did not extend the moratorium on foreclosures. They did extend the rental eviction deadline past the end of this month, but not the foreclosure. And so we probably need to keep an eye out when they return to session on the 19th, that hopefully that will be one of the very first things that they do, so that we don't have people who will be homeless by the end of the month. So that has been a concern of mine for quite some time, both for rental and for mortgages. I will be attending on the 6th the Clackamas County Business Alliance Annual Legislative Summit. So I'm looking forward to that. And then on the 8th, the weekly telephone conference call with the League of Oregon City Leaders. I haven't been able to attend that as often as I wanted to, but that is a very, very helpful session and provides really good information about a number of issues that we are facing as cities. And then just as a fun note, I wanted to just say that on the 11th of January, I will be attending a session that Councilor LEHAN will be putting on for the Charbonneau Women's Association on myths and milestones in Wilsonville. And I've heard her presentation once, and I'm looking forward to it again, and probably she'll have some updates and things a little different. I
promise to have updates.
Good. So we really appreciate her as our resident historian, so I'm looking forward to that session. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Linville. We'll now move to the consent agenda part of our meeting, and I would like to ask City Attorney Barbara Jacobson to begin.
Resolution number 2848, a resolution of the City of Wilsonville authorizing the city manager to execute a professional services agreement with Brown & Caldwell to provide engineering consulting services for the Stormwater Master Plan Update Project. Resolution number 2862, a resolution of the City of Wilsonville authorizing the city manager to execute a professional services agreement with Keller Associates, Inc. to provide engineering consulting services for the Ellingson Well Facility Rehab and Upgrades Project. Resolution number 2870, a resolution and order amending resolution number 2864 to further extend the local state of emergency and emergency measures as authorized by resolution number 2803. And finally, minutes of the December 7, 2020 City Council meeting.
Your Honor, I move to approve the consent agenda as read.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. We'll now move to we do not have any new business for today's meeting, and so we will move to continuing business. And as I mentioned earlier, our continuing business for today's meeting is regarding the boards and commission appointment. And I wanted to confirm that the council has heard and read the public comment on the proposed appointment of Ms. Arbon to the Development Review Board. I personally have read all of the material. I have interviewed Ms. Arbon also about the DRB and the functions of that committee. And all of the council members received her application December 4th when it was sent out with all of the other applications. So having read all of those materials and listened to people today, I see nothing in the record that would preclude Ms. Arbon from being a contributing member of the Development Review Board. For that reason, I will entertain a motion to approve the appointment of Jamie Arbon to the Development Review Board for a term beginning on January 5th, 2021, extending through December 31st, 2022. Do I have a motion? Oh, I'm sorry, Councilor Linville.
Your Honor, I move to ratify the appointment of Jamie Arbon to the Development Review Board for a term beginning January 5th, 2021 through December 31st, 2022.
Do I have a second?
I would second that.
Thank you. We did have quite a bit of discussion about this. The council did at their last meeting. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, I will ask for a vote. All in favor say aye and raise your right hand.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. No? All voting no?
No.
Thank you. The motion carries 4-1. Thank you. And I did want to add that regarding the this matter, council will take time to consider the request, and we will follow up with Ms. Arbon. Thank you. We do not have a public hearing today, and so I would like to move on to city manager business.
I'll be brief, Your Honor, in celebration of your tenure as the mayor. I won't wax nostalgic for 30 minutes with PowerPoint presentations that I normally do. So I just want to wish you all a happy new year. Congratulations, Mayor FITZGERALD, Council President AKERVALL, Councilor LINVILLE. I think this is a good group of folks, and I think you'll be collegial, and I look forward to working with all of you in the new year. As an Irishman, I've heard many people say 2021 can't be any worse than 2020. I want to assure you that it can be. So every time I hear that, I knock on wood. But I am looking forward to hopefully getting you all back in these council chambers and having our community come back into all of our city facilities, which leads to my next point. We're monitoring the vaccination schedules and how all of our different employees fit into that. I just want to encourage everyone to, when you get the opportunity to get vaccinated, please do. Nothing will get the economy back up and running and support local businesses like people getting vaccinated. So regardless of whatever political beliefs you have, I hope you believe in science and that vaccinations are the surest route to us getting ourselves back on track here. Just a reminder that you do have a Citizens Academy coming up where you will hear more city history from Councilor LEHAN. I've sat through those before, and she does a great job regaling our students with Wilsonville history. So it's always fun, and I look forward to that. So thank you. Happy New Year. Look forward to working with you all, and I will turn it back to you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Cosgrove. Our next agenda item is legal business.
Well, Your Honor, I can't be quite as brief as the city manager because I actually have some substantive legal business to go over with you tonight. As you know, city council compensation is highly scrutinized under Oregon ethics laws. No person who will benefit from it directly or who will benefit from it during their current term can vote on it. Only those not benefiting during a current term can vote. Because we had 3 counselors who could not benefit this time, but all had earlier expressed strong support for council compensation during the work session, specifically at a prior meeting where the vote was, before the vote was taken. I did contact the Ethics Commission to confirm we could hold a vote and enact council compensation for the new counselors and the new mayor. And when I say the new counselors, I mean the re-elected counselors. I had my conversation with the state ethics legal counsel following the work session where all 3 counselors who could vote expressed support. Therefore, when I spoke to her, I indicated we had a quorum available to vote and all intended to vote for it. She indicated as long as there was a quorum present who voted, we could move forward. Well, she understood me to say that all 3 planned to vote for it, because that's what I did believe at the time. She did not specifically address what would happen if all 3 did not vote for it, and I did not ask based on my understanding of full support. Thus, after the vote, which was 2-1, I was troubled because I had not discussed the possibility of a less than unanimous vote with the Ethics Commission. I therefore circled back to their attorney to discuss the following, and this is where the interesting facts come in, or the dispositive facts, I would have to say, come in. Our city charter expressly provides in Chapter 4, Section 15, that a majority of the incumbent members of city council shall constitute a quorum for its business. And as I said, we had that. We had 3 members. Section 19 of the charter goes on to state, except as this chapter otherwise provides the concurrence of a majority of the members of the council voting when a quorum of the council is present, shall decide any question before it. And again, we had that. We had a 2-1 vote. Thus, when in reviewing the language, and reviewing our language with the Ethics Commission attorney following the 2-1 vote, she advised and agreed that there is nothing in the ethics regulations or their interpretations of them that would override the city charter on the vote when it's that express. Thus, while a unanimous vote would have been preferred, the 2-1 vote did pass the compensation measure as presented per our charter. So that's basically it. So in other words, the 2-1 vote at the last meeting, although obviously was not unanimous, was sufficient to pass the council compensation, which if councilors elect to choose it or elect to accept it, would begin July 1. So that's what I have to report. And I'm sorry that I didn't have those directions clear from ethics, and that was my mistake to not consider the possibility of a less than unanimous vote.
Thank you, Ms. Jacobson. I'm not sure that I fully was able to completely hear your last statement. So can you clarify the result of the vote now according to our charter, where it has now been deemed that the vote, I just want you to clarify if I'm correct. Because the charter states, as it does, that the majority of the incumbent councilors voting constitutes a quorum, they were a quorum, even though there were only 3 voting. And so 2 of them voted yes, 1 voted no. So the result of this in your discussion with the ethics attorney and in review of our charter is that the vote passed. Is that correct?
Yes, I mean, there's 2 specific sections in the charter. Number 1, the first section talks about what constitutes a quorum, and that's a majority of the seated members of council. So out of 5, that would be 3. So then 3 are required, 3 would be required to vote. And if out of those 3, 2 vote in favor, the second part of the charter says a majority of the quorum, if a majority of the quorum votes in favor of the measure, it passes. If a majority of the quorum votes against a measure, it fails. So when I went back to ethics, while we had always talked under the assumption that we would have all three, or the full quorum voting in favor, what I'm told is that there is nothing in ethics laws, and there's nothing I could find in the statute, but I wanted to double check because, as I said, this kind of thing is under high scrutiny. Would that be acceptable to ethics? And she advised that our charter controls how we calculate the votes. Ethics law, the Ethics Commission does not do that. The Ethics Commission is only concerned with the fact that a majority have to be involved in the vote, and then also that the people voting do not get to take a benefit from it during their term. Does that answer your question?
I want to make sure everyone has complete understanding of this. City Manager Cosgrove, do you have anything to add about this? I did watch the last meeting, and I understood that what I'm understanding from Ms. Jacobson is that when she researched this prior to the meeting, she posed her question to the Ethics Commission attorney that by the discussion, she had heard was that there were 3 counselors who were speaking in favor of this, and she just was,
Yeah, I think the operating assumption, what I hear the city attorney saying, the operating assumption going into the resolution that was put before the previous council, the last meeting in December 2020, is that it would require, because there are only 3 members voting, it would require unanimous vote of those 3 members. Upon further research and advice from folks at the state of Oregon, it turns out that because of our charter, because we're a home rule city, and our charter allows us certain privileges if it's not explicitly stated in state statute. In this case, there is language in there that allows a simple majority of the voting members to pass a resolution. And I think the only thing that would make this a little bit different is because, as the city attorney has stated, is that it deals with compensation for the members. So we were always a little bit wary about that, and so further research was done, and it turns out that the resolution that was put before council did in fact pass on that 2-to-1 vote.
And the only other thing I would add to that is the charter is very explicit. It doesn't say a majority vote may be it says a majority vote shall decide the question. It's a shall, not a may.
Which, from a legal standpoint is always good because we don't like weasel words.
Does that explain everything? Any other questions?
It might be an opportunity now, Mayor, because this is an issue that affects the whole body. If anybody else on council, you might want to see if there are any other questions from council members.
yes, I'm looking on my screen to see if I see any questions. Please make sure I'm seeing your hand if you do have a question.
And just to reiterate, this is a benefit that people can opt into or out of at any time. We don't provide legal advice, so people need to, contact their financial advisor or accountant to see how this will impact them, because there is a tax issue for anybody that does receive the stipend. So we covered that all in the December meeting. If anybody has questions, contact staff and we'll get you what information we can.
All right, thank you very much. I am now, if there's no further business, I am going to adjourn the meeting of the Wilsonville City Council, January 4th, 2021 at 8:07 p.m. Thank you.
Executive session?
Did you, you're going to adjourn the regular meeting, and I think you're going to convene an executive session right after. And I think you have the recitations there, Mayor.
That was going to be my next move.
Right on.
So we will, I do want to ask we have a different link for the executive session, is that correct?
Yeah, so we'll need 5 to 7 minutes. And I think you have the sites there on the agenda. You'll need to just cite what you're convening under what ORS. I think there's 2 of them that you have.
Yes. Do you want me to read that now?
Yeah, go ahead and make the recitation. I guess you don't need to. Let's just go ahead. You've already adjourned the meeting. We can do the recitations in executive session.
And it is printed on the agenda.
And I apologize that this is a little confusing. We normally do executive sessions before work sessions, so this is unique because we wanted to have our new mayor involved in the executive session.
Thank you.